the minorities in India have been persecuted, and India are taking all actions they can to bury that news, to make sure that persecution does not reach the light of day. It comes down to organisations like Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch, etc., to actually highlight what is going on, and indeed they certainly are digging beneath those dark surfaces to see what actually is going on in India, and that India is really too ashamed to report on. Certainly its mainstream media is not able to report on because it is too controlled by the state itself. So now the big question is, does it matter what Amnesty International says? Yes, it does to some degree, but will anybody take any notice? Now, people like us in the, let's say, the peripheries around the mainstream media, yes, we of course take notice because it matters, and truths like this need to be brought to the world's attention. But do governments listen? Do Western governments listen? Yes, they probably do, but they've got bigger things on their plate. They've got bigger priorities like trade deals, etc., to think about. In other words, when reports come out like this, they're a slight embarrassment, they're a slight, they're a bit of a thorn in the side, they're a nuisance, they're an uncomfortable truth that quite often just gets brushed aside in more important discussions, in their opinions, like trade, commerce, etc., global geopolitics, military issues, etc. So unfortunately, things like this do tend to be pushed aside, saying, yeah, we know about it, but there are bigger things to think about, and that is always the problem. But that is not to say that these things are not very, very important and significant. Of course they are. They are massively important in terms of getting the truth out. They are massively important propaganda tools to try and persuade and influence governments and decision makers who make policies on international policy. So yes, things like this do matter,